Alright, now that that impromptu dance session is over, the first style that I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do is quite simple. I call it I like big buns. I like to do this style when I'm trying to spice up some twists that I have and do something different. So like I said, this style is really simple. So the first thing that you want to do to add some spice to your life is divide your hair in half. You want to divide it in half and then tie each section so that you have 2 pigtails equal in height on your head, or as equal as you can make it. So once you are walking around looking like Pippi Longstockings with your 2 pigtails, you want to divide 1 pigtail into 2 sections like I'm doing here. Once you have that hair divided, the first thing you want to do is take one section and begin to twist it around. I like to twist it so that it gives me a flatter bun. I don't want 2 larger buns on my head. I try to make them as small as possible. So once you have that twisted up, then you begin to twist it around itself and twist it around the other loose section that you have. I personally do not use bobby pins for this style, but you can if you need it to make sure that your bun doesn't come out. I actually just tuck it in place, and once I do that, I move on to the next section, twisting it again around my finger and then wrapping it in the opposite direction around the first bun that you have. And voila, just like that, you're done with one side. Of course, you could play with it, position it better if you feel like it looks a little wonky or lopsided. And once you're done with that, you move on to the next side, dividing it in half, twisting each side and making another donut bun. Okay, so this part is definitely optional, but with this style, I like to get my edges slick up. So I like to use the ORS edge control on my edges. It works perfectly. Next, another optional step, I also like to pull out a little tendril on one side next to my ear. I don't know, I just think it adds something to the look. The next style that I'm going to be showing you guys is what I like to call Swoop. There it is. Again, this is a really simple one. I don't even know why it's in the tutorial, but I put it in the tutorial anyway. The only thing that you're going to need for this style are some bobby pins. First, you want to push your hair over to the side you want it to lay. Use your fingers to fluff it up and add some volume. Now, you want to begin to move your hair over to the side that you're trying to swoop your hair in and use the bobby pins to pin them on that side. As you can see, I like to start at the bottom of my head. I use one bobby pin and pin it up, and then use my second bobby pin and pin it down, creating somewhat of a crisscross effect, ensuring that none of my hair comes out. From there, I start to work my way up to the top. This usually takes about 3 sections, so 3 sections where I have crisscross bobby pins and my hair is completely pinned to the side. So once I'm done with that, I'm left with the top section that's not secured down. Now I like to take a bobby pin that's not as tight as the other bobby pins and just use that to tack it in there. This just ensures that even when the wind blows, my hair will stay in the same direction as the rest of the swoop. Of course, you fluff it out with your fingers and boom, there you go. Again, I like to use my edge control, slick down them edges. I didn't really spend too much time doing that in this video, but make sure you have them edges laid. Pull out a little tendril on the side, and yes, honey, you ready to slay. You ready to slay. This next style I call the lazy pinup, another simple style that oddly enough never comes out looking the same no matter how much I do it. Again, for this style you're going to need your trusty cheap bobby pins. Now the first thing that you want to do is create a side part, shifting your hair to the side that you are most comfortable with it falling. On the side of your head where your hair is not falling, you divide that section in half and take the front section. We're going to be working with the front section and pinning it back. But first you want to take out a few tendrils or curls that you want to place and have falling down, framing your face for this style. Once you have that done, you want to take a bobby pin and pin that section in the back somewhere near the middle of your head. So the next section that we're going to be working on is the back section. So you just want to divide out the hair right above your neck. Again, it doesn't have to be any specific measurement of hair. Just divide it out and then fold it over and pin it up. Again, leaving the ends free just like you did with the first section. Next, we'll be moving on to the section in the front where our hair is falling. So you want to divide out the top section. I just like to divide the top section because I like to position it differently. So we're going to be working with the larger back half of that side of our head. You want to fold it over and figure out how you want it to look and how you want it to frame your face, and then pin it down, again leaving the ends out. At this point, you have all three sections of your hair pinned up in the middle of your head in the back. At this point, you want to start pulling out some loose pieces of hair to frame your face, making the style look a bit more effortless and lazy. When working with the last section of hair, the first thing you want to do is pull out some of the pieces that you want to hang down. So these are going to be directly next to your face, so you want to pull out some pieces that look good to you or maybe have a little bit more definition before you pin up the rest of the hair. Once you decide on the right position, you can pin that into place. Again, it doesn't really matter where you pin it in the back because we left all the ends of the other sections out. It'll all just blend in and be one little rabbit puff in the back. Once all the sections are pinned back, you can start playing with the shape and the form of your hair. You can also start pinning down some sections that you think need to be pinned down and reposition and playing with the pieces that you have falling down and framing your face. Every time I do this style, it does come out differently, but I still do it anyway. I like to do it if I have to go out or do my hair and I don't want to spend too much time doing an intricate style. This works perfectly. Now this next style, which I like to call the Boho Pineapple, is definitely one of my go-to styles when I have an old twist out. First, you want to start off by giving your hair as much volume as you can. So shake out that old twist out, make sure you fluff it up, and do as much as you can to get it a bit bigger. Next, you want to take your scrunchie or your hair tie and flip your head upside down and tie your hair into a really high ponytail or pineapple, as high as you can on the top of your head. Then you're going to need a head tie of some sort. So find a head tie that you like the color or the pattern. I got this head tie from my mom. It went with one of her Nigerian outfits and she let me borrow it. So you fold it up into a very long rectangle like you see me have here and put it on the back of your head. This style is really easy to tie. Once you get to the front, you just cross them over once and then cross it over again as you saw me do in this video, and take both sides and tie it in the back. Once I get to the back, instead of tying it twice, I like to tuck the tails under to give it a more seamless look. So tuck one side over and tuck the other side under, and then you're good to go. Divide the hair in your pineapple in two and just start to fluff it out. You could get an afro pick or a comb and fluff it out as much as you can. Because I prefer for my band not to be on my forehead, I push it back a bit, which does show my edges. So you can of course use the ORS edge control and slick them bad boys down and you're good to go. So this next style is a modified version of the style before it. It starts off the same way with the head tie in the back of your head, but instead of crossing it over and bringing it back, you'll just twist the material around itself to create a little donut bun, or in this case, a unicorn horn. I like to use a rubber band to secure the donut to make sure it doesn't come out, and tuck the ends underneath. I hope you enjoyed the video and found these 5 styles helpful for any lazy days. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!